Going on, everybody? Glad you guys could come. This is episode 31 of Seeker of the Unknown. Today, we are going to be getting into the Mandela effect, the connections to CERN. Also, we're going to be talking about some things concerning the deletion, the erasing, the deliberate, uh, well, deliberate erasing of history, not telling or purposefully, getting rid of things that are uh, uh, historically prominent that you would think that they would be teaching kids or just telling everybody or keeping. Find that uh, is this something that was planned? Is this something that has been planned or is in the plan book of these elite groups who are trying to suppress a lot of information and historical things to keep this new generation down. Also, we're seeing a lot of things happen that um, CERN is doing right now with testing this hydrogen collider, and also the works for building a newer uh, collider that is much bigger than the one that is already in place now. France border. Uh, what are going to be the ramifications we have not heard of that could be happening in the future there on the border of Switzerland and France, I believe is. A lot of stuff going on. Craziness in this world. So let's get into it. Let's have a good discussion. If you guys want to talk, you can reach me on Seeker of the Unknown here in the comments section. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. Helps out a lot. Helps get the information out there and get it spread out to everybody across the globe. And I appreciate everybody that's already following and welcoming the new people that are coming in. Um, yeah, I'll get into it as soon as I get done. So let's get this introductory going, and we'll get to it. Yes, I love that intro. It's great. I'm glad I found it, put it together, and got it going. Um, So everybody that's here, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you guys being here. It means so much uh, that you guys are here because it means that you too are also trying to seek the truth and knowledge and all things that are hidden from us and things that we have not yet discovered or have not been able to discuss openly. A lot of things are being suppressed, being kept from us, and it seems like a lot of people want to know or are wanting to be in the know when it comes to uh, stage if I'm right here. Anyway, so to everybody that's joining into the podcast, I just want to say thank you. Appreciate you guys for coming here. Um, Getting the word out about a lot of the topics that we talk about that are things that people just, feel like they can people you go to the family barbecue and talk about. Ugh. I got all my stuff going back there, but um, today we are going to be talking about the Hadron Collider that is in CERN, or that CERN has been building. The new one, in fact, that is going to be much bigger than the one that they already have. Let's check this out. Show more. It says here, CERN, the European Laboratory of the Particle Physics, is developing a new particle circular collider. The FCC will be a larger and more powerful collider than the Large Hadron Collider that CERN currently operates. The FCC will be a 90.7 kilometer, which is equal to 56.5 miles long circular tunnel with an average depth of 200 meters. It will also have a surface site for scientific and technological experiments. 8 surface sites. The Electron Positioner Collider. The first stage will begin operations about a decade after construction starts. Proton Collider. The second stage will be operational sometime in 2070s, and it will aim to reach collision energies of 100 teraelectron volts, or TeV. The purpose: the FCC will use the understated two fundamental laws of the universe, produce new particles, test exciting theories, and develop new theories. The FCC is estimated to cost 15 billion Swiss francs, which is about 17 billion US dollars, and the funding will come from CERN's budget, European member states, and the United States and Japan. The timeline: the FCC, the feasibility study is expected to begin completion in 2025, and decision on the project is expected before 2028. Construction could begin as early as 2033. Yeah, I mean, this thing's huge. I mean, imagine this thing is going to be about 57 miles long, wide, in aerial circumference. So, a lot of things that have happened around CERN that people are concerned with is the fact that CERN has been a controversial subject for people that, I mean, you can say the stupid word conspiracists, or people that are into finding why is it that CERN is hiding something, the physiological testing that they're probably doing in this facility. We're not sure because a lot of stuff doesn't come out besides the things that they want you to know about. Hold on here. But we're seeing that a lot of people are posting things of these portals or these wormholes that are being opened up in various parts of the All right. So I'm gonna just switch it back. I guess you can't use it unless the audio on it is not working correctly. So I guess I'm just gonna have to stick with this one. What the freak? Yeah, that's kind of dumb. Let me see here. Video settings. Um, Mirror camera. I mean, it's not. I don't know. Maybe I was having issues with it before, but um, whatever. Anyway, so the issue that a lot of people are having is this: what is going on in CERN that we don't know about? And if they are doing something that they are hiding, what has been the effects since it has started up since 2012? What are some of the things that people have been noticing? Um, let's see. You've got, like I said earlier, these portals. Some people believe that a time shift has actually happened. Oops. Um, People have been complaining about seeing things, or maybe that the portals that they're opening up have been linked to CERN. These portals that people have been seeing around the world, around the country. And the theory that people have been saying is that when the Hadron Collider was first tested and it opened this other dimension, did the LHC and scientists at CERN in the world in 2012? That was a real big question that a lot of people were trying to figure out. Like, are we living in an alternate universe? Did our universe cease to end, and now we're living in this different dimensional um, parallel universe? Um, and one of the things that people have been saying is that, or that the issues that have been brought up, is that we notice a lot of things that have become slightly different. Now, we say slightly different, but is it actually something to do with CERN, or is it something to do with CERN, the government covering up, hide things concerning our past, and trying to see if they can manipulate people's perception of historical events, historical facts, just history in general? One of the things that we are seeing is that you notice that a lot of things that we and beyond, 70s, 60s, 50s, we remember a lot of things that happened, but it seems like the time shift for it is not what we remember. And it's really crazy because you specifically can remember when you look back at things when you were a child and go, I remember that the cornucopia on the Fruit of the Looms logo was there. I remember that Fruit Loops was spelled a different way. I remember that Jiffy, Jif, the peanut butter was different. I remember that freaking the Flintstones, the cereal, the Berenstein Bears, not Berenstein. It was Bears. Things were there's little things that were just not right. Even movie quotes. We can look back at movie quotes and see that they even tried switching that up. Now we've got Darth Vader not saying, Luke, I am your father. We've got in movie or in musical lyrics that are being taken out, from Queen. Everybody remembers Freddie Mercury singing "Of the World" at the end of that song. Now it's gone. And it's like it seems like they're like trying to make people lose their mind. And it's like, why? What is the purpose? What is the reasoning behind this? I mean, what is the end effect of why things have been shifted and altered in a way that would make people think, wait a minute, this isn't right. This Mandela effect has taken a control over so much of the things that we remember growing up. Um, Visually, um, audio wise, there are even aspects to things that have shifted in reality in our world in general. And people believe that it has something to do with this CERN Hadron Collider. Now, does it? I don't know, but it seems like ever since 2012, a lot of crazy crap has been happening. A lot of things have been shifted when this activation of the CERN Collider um, came into play or came into um, activation, and it started up. And are we messing with things that, could be leading to the demise of the United? I mean, it seems like there are certain things that we shouldn't, you know, fuck around with, and we shouldn't, be messy. Shouldn't be deliberate going, oh well, if we can do it, we should do it. We should make it happen. If we're capable of doing something, we should, mess with it. Why do that? Why tempt fate with, well, it's in the name of science. So we can make matter, we can make and create universe particles. What are we going to do with it? What is the benefit really of doing something like this? Like, what's really going to happen? What are we going to benefit from it? And that in and of itself is, a big question of why it is. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if it would work, and I guess not. But I'm not sure if anybody else feels that way, where they're like, you know, a lot of weird, crazy shit has happened, um, that we have been seeing um, a lot of lately. Um, with just, it seems like reality is not what we remembered it to be, and it's like, what's happening? What's really going on? Why would, are they intentionally shifting people's historical events or knowledge of things that happened? Is it some sort of an experiment that they're doing? Like, are they intentionally leaving things out? Are they intentionally hiding things from us? And if they are, why? What is the benefit of doing something like this? Um, it just seems really crazy that a lot of people don't ask um, these questions about why it is that people would be doing something, and if it is the world, organizations, these one percenters who are actually altering and modifying, and actually, I mean, you heard on the article where it was saying that, these Western countries, or these countries that are investing in this CERN project, what is the benefit of it? Are they wanting to do something where it they're able to open up parallel universes? Are they wanting to see, or how, or have they done experiments where they have already done that, where they've opened up these portals to multi dimensions? Are they doing something that we are not being aware of? And it seems like there could be a purpose behind it, but what is it? What would be the purpose of opening multi-dimensional portals? What would be the purpose of them doing it? Is it something that's good? Is it something that's bad? Um, I don't know. That just, to me, seems really shady, especially when you're looking at a lot of things that they're already doing as far as hiding or deliberately altering our past, um, to modify our perception of things, um, in a way that this newer generation will not remember it. They will only remember what they are being told from a point on. Um, and I don't know. I mean, it just seems really mind blowing. I mean, I don't know if anybody ever thinks about that kind of stuff, or when they see things, they think, what the hell? Why are they doing this? Um, but yeah, I mean, I've thought about it a lot. And I just wanted to bring it up in this episode and get your guys' thoughts on what you think, and how you're perceiving a lot of this stuff. Or are there other things um, outside of CERN? We are seeing a lot of things where people are reporting a lot more cryptid sightings. I don't know if anybody's really, paid attention or realized that, but we are seeing a very big up jump in people reporting video um, sightings, people capturing video evidence of Bigfoot, giants, cryptids, uh, these beings that do not seem like they are from Earth, I guess you could say. I don't know. Um, or whatever the case is, yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on, and it's not just to do with CERN, but it seems like ever since this upshift of this CERN collider, people have been reporting a lot of crazy stuff, and we're going to take a look at some of that evidence of what people are reporting. Let's check this out real quick. Whoops. Whew. This is interesting. There are actually even articles of CERN scientists claiming that they have opened up or been able to capture or open up portals from somewhere else. And it's crazy that you think about this, um, that we have come so far in scientifical knowledge in such a short amount of time, that we are opening portals, modifying the universe and the very essence of who we, our reality. We are playing with something that could be dangerous, um, could lead to the destruction of, you know, our planet and think, the solar system in itself. But it seems like, is this something that we should be worried about? Is it something that we should be, concerned with? I don't know. Let me see here. I mean, there's different things, CERN is not opening. CERN may be, in fact, able or claims that they have opened a portal, but will not specify where this portal leads to. Okay, that's very reassuring. Um, it seems like the let me see this. Um, you get a lot of videos of people posting things about um, CERN actually uh, manipulating time and space and altering uh, the universe in itself. Um, and like I said, I just wanted to do an episode about what you guys think about this. Is it anything to worry about? Really? I mean, if it's going to be over, it's going to be over. What are you going to do, right? You can't really change the fact of these scientists that are, playing with everybody's freaking lives here. Well, let's get into this. Let me know if you guys have any comments or any, ideas on this. And we will we'll talk about that in a few. Now, let's get into this Mandela effect thing. So, we are seeing a lot of things that are not only just affecting our, our world, but it is affecting this new generation and their recollection of things that they remember, because the description that you get when you look at the Mandela effect is that the Mandela effect is a type of false memory that occurs when many different people listen how they word this, okay, because this is funny. People incorrectly remember the same thing. It refers to a widespread false memory that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s, and memories are not always precise recordings of events. This is what they do to discredit thousands of people, is they get this medical news today article or people that are in this medical field, and they get them to write or say or post um, these articles on people that are talking about these Mandela effect issues, and you see them trying to discredit everything that we remember, that people are trying to come out and talk about and say, oh, well, these are false memories that many people might collectively remember, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it was true. How in the hell do you get a false memory by thousands of people, especially everybody growing up from the 80s on? Could this be something where the government is playing tricks on people to alter historical facts or alter historical narratives and see what it is that people are actually going to remember or not remember? That's what it seems like, is like there's a deeper meaning behind why we are seeing this, because you're seeing people now where they're saying, "Oh, well, this whole cornucopia thing with Fruit of the Loom, they lied." They even put out an article. Let me look at this. Let me look this up. Yeah, there's a lot of. Let's put this on here real quick. All right. So you see this article. It's talking about different Mandela effects and if we remember them. All right, so let's look at these together because I talked about this in a previous episode, and we weren't able to to get this going here. Hold on. All right, so this is a cool one. Shaggy's Adam's apple. I don't remember if this was one, but I never seen it. Um, but I do in the original what was it, the early 60s having an Adam's apple. Um, yeah, this one too. They're saying something about Mickey Mouse's suspenders, which I'm like, whatever. Who cares, right? So I do remember Mickey Mouse having suspenders on. That's just me, but I could be wrong. Um, Captain Crunch versus Captain Crunch. I remember Captain, but then again, it could just be me. So if anybody else remembers that, chime in on this. Um, there's a misspelling of is a big thing. I don't remember anything about Troun's tail, so like Frosted Flakes. People are saying that they remember him having a black nose, but I think I do remember blue one, but I'm not really sure. It's really hard, and I think that's another thing too is as we get older with our age and not being able to remember, or if you do remember it and we find something that is going on, like you can find old uh, videos from the 1980s. People post them on YouTube and stuff, but you see people talking about um, Tony being blue, but remember it being black. I'm not sure. This one, this really pissed me off. The most bizarre thing ever was people saying that Sinbad, who played the genie in that movie Shazam, right? I remember this. I don't know if anybody else does or if anybody else doesn't. I specifically remember him playing a fucking genie in the movie, with that kid who I believe Angels in the Outfield or whatever, um, where he had that vision where he could play where he played in our baseball league and he's seen all those angels in the outfield, whatever, and they were helping him, that kid. I think that was him who played in it. But what makes this even crazier is that Sinbad actually came out and was like denied ever even in the movie. And that's what blows me away is because you look at it and you're going, you're lying. You're lying, bro. And you see Sinbad now, how he is just, he's decrepit, he's old, he's got a sickness, he's dying. He's not in his normal old, if he's going through some health issues. Could this be something that he was in legal? If you say anything, you know, something could happen to you, because why would you lie about that when there's people that even have the fucking tape and they've posted it online and they're like, look, I have the movie. So this one right here is should be number one to me. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you have any posts or anything. I know there's posts that are out there where people have shown the movie. So yes, I remember when this video came out that she had a headset or something wearing it as she was singing. I do remember this one. And like it says, another Mandela effect has to do with Britney Spears' famous music video. Many can distinctly remember Britney Spears wearing a microphone headset in the video. Her doll came out after this was even sold with one. And how, after rewatching it, it's clear that she never wore it in the video. So how do we all have a clear image of this? And it's likely because Britney is famous for performing live with a microphone headset, and the two are merging together in our heads. I highly doubt that, because if she had a doll that was sold with one, that would mean that she had one. Does it mean it? Not necessarily. But as I said before, it's these little details that they hide that we don't remember. This is another one, is the I mean, I remember it as being Jiffy, because that's what we grew up with. The Looney Tunes, this one would make absolutely more sense, because when you look at Looney Tunes, the tunes is explaining that it's tunes. The cartoon characters being toony, they're crazy, they're wacky. Looney Tunes being the fact that they're talking about music. So why would we sit here and about the fact it was actually meaning of crazy, wacky cartoons? This one has become a really big one. Is the Berenstein Bears. A lot of people, remember this whole thing. I remember it as Berenstein, but Berenstain, the A instead of the E. No, I think we even have books here that we have the Berenstain. Verify that. There are this thing with Curious George. I recently, we were talking about this not too long ago. Was I remember Curious George being in some of the old cartoons and even in the books where he was hanging by his tail from a tree. Sex in the City, there it is right there. Somebody took a picture of their perfume. It's Sex in the City. Yeah, I do remember it as being Febreze. I actually just threw one of those bottles away. The Oscar Mayer, I mean, the song was Mayer, so that one's kinda debunked. Skechers, I kinda remember with a T, but I'm not really sure, so I'm not gonna go off that one. This one right here, Fruit Loops. Who remembers this one? Oh my god, wielding a turkey leg, come on. I do remember the Monopoly guy with a monocle, so that's just a trip to me because if anybody's out there that has or has seen a old monocle wielding Monopoly guy, give us a post and let. I do remember Black detailing the Pikachu tail. I remember that. Kit Kat, I remember being separated. This one right here, this is another one that should be like at number fucking two. Is the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia. They deny it ever even being on there and said that they never had a logo with it. But I mean, people are coming up with it like you guys are lying. What is the purpose of them lying about? Yeah, stuff. Uh, I do remember Mona Lisa's smile. There's a lot, even there's a lot of songs that talk about it. So I mean, this one I don't understand what the big deal is about it. Now people are. This one fucking caught me off guard too. Was the whole three CPO Blake thing, the Flintstones, um, Darth Vader, Luke, I am your father. What the hell? I am your father. All right, I don't know anything about that one. You're gonna need a bigger boat. What is said by Rob Schneider's character in Jaws, one of the best movies ever. Do you remember him saying, "We're gonna need a bigger boat"? We can see it clearly as day. Families everywhere, giant checks, but really McMahon was a spokesperson for the company. Instead, he worked for American Family Publishers, but he never handed anyone checks. His face was simply on the envelopes. I do remember him in the early '80s. You know, my mom used to be into that crap. I don't know why. Life is like a box of chocolates, but they're saying that he's saying it was like a box of chocolates. This one, I do remember him saying, I've never heard him saying, fly, you fools. It was always run. I remember that line being in that one. Magic mirror on the wall. But then again, you have all these people, even in songs, um, and rap songs. Mirror, mirror on the wall. You remember that? It's like our whole childhood is a lie. Here it is again, the Freddie Mercury thing of the world. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's actually beautiful day in this neighborhood. This, I remember beat me up, Scotty, because I watched that plenty of times with my dad. I believe in The Wizard of Oz. She says both things. So this right here, this is horseshit because I clearly remember Tom Cruise coming out of there with freaking sunglasses on. That is an I can't make that up. This I remember also. He says hello, Clarice. Yeah, the correct answer is 50, obviously, but some American foreigners are like all learning that there were 51 or 52 states. Yeah, this one too. I remember there being 52, 53 states. This is crazy. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments because I remember this. This was something I remember. I think I would remember something like this because I'm a history guy and I remember there's something going on here. Oh, tell me what you think. I think something's up because I remember specifically remember there being more than 50 states. Like I said, I mean, let me know what you think because I remember it being more than 50 states. What's going on, Aaron? Thank you guys for joining. Aaron, thank you, man. But like I said, I mean, let me know what you guys think because I, I remember Hawaii. Hawaii was what the 51st state growing up. There was more than 50 states. That's just me. I just remember that growing up. Not sure. I agree with you, bro. There's just so much crap that's going on. Like that's an old movie. I don't remember it. Smokey the Bear. What? 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 This is fucking mind-boggling right here. I remember the fucking bear being Smokey the Bear. Now you're telling me that his name was never Smokey? Horse crap. This one right here, I remember specifically because I remember I did a report um, on freaking uh, this incident, and I remember the video having to because the man that was standing there got ran over by the tank. Now you're saying that it never happened. So, like I said, this time parallel shift is really throwing everybody off because, like I said, I mean, this thing with 2012 happening, um, I don't remember him dying. I don't. I don't remember Neil Armstrong passing away in 2012, but like I said, I could be wrong. It's probably just one of those things. This is really fucked up. One of the biggest Joan Jett fans swear they remember her saying, I saw him standing there by the wrecking machine. When in actuality, she said, I saw him dancing there by the record machine. I remember her saying, I saw him standing there by the record machine. That was always, I mean, how the fuck do you get a song like that wrong? I don't think. I think they're fucking with us on that one. People have strong canonized as a saint. The real event happened in 2016, but many remember her happy. Yes, I do remember her getting it in 1990s. Number one reason it being is because my daughter was born in 99, and it happened before Mother Teresa got canonized way before this. That is shocking because I'd never heard of this one. So this one is a new one to me, and I don't believe it. It happened in the early 90s. Man, this the tragic accident took place on January 8th of 86. There are a number of people who thought it happened before. That totally mishapped, but I will the fucking Challenger people who were on that plane did not die. They did not die. Don't believe that shit. It's a lie. Fucking lie to you. There's proof of it out. It's out there. Okay, so when the aviator Charles Lindbergh's infant son was kidnapped, the entire world focused their attention on the story. Many remember the case going cold, but on the baby and sentenced the killer to death for his heinous crimes. I remember doing a study on this when I was in junior high because, like I said, I'm a history buff and I love reading about criminal stuff going on in history. I do remember the Lindbergh kidnapping, and I went cold. I don't remember it going cold. I remember them um, saying that they had found the killer, they had found the baby. Uh, so yeah, Mickey Mouse's tail. When most people envision Disney's favorite mouse, a tail doesn't come to mind. That's crazy. I don't know. Hmm, let me know. This one right here. You may remember this line from the iconic baseball film Field of Dreams, but in the reality, the actual line uttered by the mysterious voice at the beginning of the movie was, "If you build it, we know we'll never be the same either." I do remember him saying, "If you build it, he will come." He says, "If you build it, they will come" later on in the movie after he's built it because now he's getting all the other baseball players to come out. So that's not a Mandela effect in it. But I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, what else? Uh, the time shift in parallel universes. Do you believe that there could be time shifts? Is CERN connected to it in some way? Is the Mandela effect something that people just forget, don't understand, are misunderstanding events or things that have happened when we grew up? And as I said, as you get older, you tend to have that thought of, well, maybe it happened a different way than what I remember. But clearly, a lot of us are remembering the same things. And as I said before, is this something that they are planning, that they have been planning, that they are doing to see the effects of these these fuck, I'm going brain dead here. The effects of shifting things before people's face, their thoughts of, movies, quotes, products, anything historical that has to do with things that happened before 2001, 2012. A lot of things have been just twisted in a way that we remembered it a certain way, but it's not happening the way we thought it was happening. A lot of people, this whole thing came up because I remember Mandela dying in prison because there was a big thing because he was still in prison and they were fighting for his release because we were in Germany. My dad was in the military, and I remember this heavily because it was a big thing. They were mourning him about him being a big activist of freedoms and people's rights and, Africa and this and that. And I remember him dying and them having a big giant funeral for him. But next thing you know, he didn't die. He's alive and he died later on. I don't know. Are there things that are going on in this world that are affecting not only just people? I mean, you've got all this technology, you've got all this electricity, you've got all air. Man, get on my YouTube, bro, because I want to post this question that you just posted. Aaron just got on Facebook and posted a really good question. And it's fucking scary because I've been thinking about this shit exactly how you just said it. So what he said here is, here's the big question. Who are you compared to who you were before 2012? And can you guarantee that you are in fact still the same person? Think about that. Do we Are we just remembering memories that are just subjective to what we remember? Is it implanted dreams? Is it just a scenario? Is it just, some matrix bullshit where this time shift happened and whoop, boom, we're just remembering thoughts of somebody else somewhere else? Kind of. Does that make some sense? It's like they say, like, you feel something, or you feel like I remember this, or I remember something, or you have dreams or visions of something in a past life or somewhere else, but it's actually you in a different alternate universe because you're connected spiritually, mentally to your other selves somewhere else. So you think about things or you think about thoughts, but as Aaron just said, do any of us? I can say I do because I remember a lot of things of the military. That's one keystone fact, and my kids being born and events that happened. But it's like, what about a lot of other things that happened before 2012? Events. We remember 9/11, obviously. We remember the Space Challenger happening. I remember Bill Clinton in office in the early 90s when he was playing saxophone on the late night show because he was wanting to be really cool with the young hipsters. Um, there's a lot of events, I guess, that we could all go through and name off that we remember, but it's like, could those thoughts or those memories just be implants? You're fucking with me, Aaron. This is not cool, dude. But it's a good question. It's a good thought. Like, do we remember? Can you sit down and remember a lot of the things that happened during 2012 or before? Little things. Maybe there's just little incidences that have shifted or uh, have you thinking or twisting it around to thinking that it was one way, but it actually never was. Hmm, interesting. But getting into this whole thing of time parallel universes, time shifts, alternate realities, these things that we consider science fiction, these ideas that we consider to be not real, could they in fact be something that is going on? Aaron says the earmarked events seem kind of like cornerstones. The details of them and the other less established events are where the Mandela effect comes into play. And I agree with that. And that's why I'm saying really hard because you remember real big significant events that you can definitely say everybody remembers them happening. But do they happen the way we remember them, or was it something different? Because you see, like I said, I had mentioned the Challenger um, disaster that happened in what, 88, something like that, 86, something like that. And now you see these people who are alive. That is something that I believe just could be a cover up. I don't believe that the Challenger crew got on to the spaceship. We watched them leave, get into the thing, to the vehicle, the bus or whatever that drove them to the launch pad, but we never saw them get into the Challenger. We just saw it blow up. And then they had, the voice recorder that uh, they produced to everybody, and they were saying that they had bomb or bomb body evidence. You see the picture of the helmet in the field. That doesn't mean shit. The people are alive. That's the altering of physical reality. The main thing I'm like trying to figure out too, because that has a play, I think, in what I'm discussing, is the physical altering of people's perception of historical events. Um, because before, if you can sit here and alter something, you got to remember the generation of kids that are alive today have no fucking recollection of 9/11. That's a big historical event. So altering that event for the future from a certain point on, I'm just making an example here, because then they're going to remember certain things that they've been told, seen, read about from a certain point. But us coming forward from that moment, recognizing it and seeing it, we remember it happening a specific way. I don't know. Am I getting too deep into this? Am I making sense? I feel like I'm just talking here. I don't know. I don't know. Um, there is a lot of things that really trip you out, because when you look into this, it's like the alternate world theory, the multi-universe, multi-dimensions. We know that there are more than at least 11 dimensions that we, um, as scientists, have claimed that they know of. Um, but we cannot perceive them because of our mental status, our spiritual status, because we can't see with our eyes and perceive with our sensories outside of this three dimension that we're in. Does that mean that we can't perceive it or that it's not there? No. It's just that we cannot sense it, or we're not able to pick it up because we're not at that level of perception. Are there people who are claiming that this reality that we live in is not real? Yes. Do I believe that? I feel down deep in my soul that there is something that is going on, which is, like I said, this is why I had this episode, because I wanted to have a discussion and see what everybody's thoughts were. Because am I the only one that is thinking like this? No, obviously not, because there's other people who are making podcast shows like this, or making episodes on their podcasts about things like this, because we all feel something's going on, something has happened, something is up, something has shifted in a certain way where we are now seeing things happen that just do not make sense. When you look at reality and you think, okay, well, this is just mind boggling. Like, how in the hell could they allow this to happen? So What are your guys' thoughts? What are your perceptions on uh, the alternate reality theory, and the parallel universe theory that the Mayans had predicted and said the end of the world was going to happen in 2012, when in fact a lot of scientists are saying that we got the time stamping wrong, that it is actually 2024, uh, where the events of life-altering uh, incidences are going to be taking place this year. Aaron says, here's the thing with that. We know so much now that it seems like we didn't know shit 100 years ago. 100 years ago, they thought that they knew so much that the people 100 years before that didn't. Hold on. Can't even see the whole comment. Why? Why is my phone doing this? Uh, Sorry, bro. It says 100 years ago, they thought they knew so much that the people 100 years before that didn't know shit. On and on and on and on. My point is, we don't know shit. Our biggest handicap is thinking that we do. And I believe that that's that goes within, like, saying, well, the control of what the narrative is that we know about our historical events and facts. We are only told what we are only knowing what we are being told or what we were taught in school. But when you start looking and doing research of that parameter of what the narrative of what we've been told and we've been fed for so long, and you start doing your own research, you look into saying, okay, well, this shit isn't real. Everything that we've known or everything that we've been perceived to know is a lie. And in fact, that is what gets into the mind manipulation, the control of these people who are taking these historical narratives and these historical facts and just the reality, and distorting everything to making and having us perceive the things that we think is real. But in fact, when you do your research and you start looking into a lot of things, the thing about dinosaurs, dragons, mythical creatures, the idea that people have not been on this earth as long as they're telling us that they have been. We're finding fucking bones that are freaking 22,000 years old. The narratives that we have been told for so long, the people that are out there that are in the field that are finding the evidence of this deception, um, this lie, this cover up, um, this control and mandate of what we as a whole collective society, as a human race, they're taking everything and distorting it and keeping a lot of the stuff hidden from us. What would be the purpose of doing it? Why? That's what I would like to know and get at is, why the deception? Why the mishandling? Why the lies? Why the distortion of history? Why change things? Is it because the end? What is the end game? What would be the end game of them having control of doing something like this? Um, and deceiving. Is it because now this generation of new people that are going to be taking over? I mean, you see how dumbed down and how stupid a lot of people. And I'm not stating it for everybody, because a lot of people aren't falling for this crap, or they aren't just swallowing the narratives that people are just shoving down their throat. They're actually going out there and researching and doing their own due diligence and saying, hey, this shit isn't right. Whereas you have a lot of people who are just saying, everything that the media is telling me. I believe everything that the government is telling me. I believe every perception and every thought that these people are telling me. It's got to be golden because why would they lie to us? They would have nothing to hide from us. And it's like that mentality versus the mentality of people of, like I said, of these early 90s and these 80s and these, and early 90s and on and later on, we have this tendency to say, calling bullshit out for what it is. For being able to make up our own minds and saying, I'm not going to sit here and allow you what is. And so we do our due diligence and we do our own research. For the most part, a lot of the art nation has done that, which is why you see a lot of people who come up with these thoughts and handicap off of a lot of these older generation of people who did the same thing, you know. But as I stated before in a lot of my other episodes, is this: you get a lot of these people who coin this phrase. They throw it out there so much. You hear the media outlets talking about it. You hear people in freaking podcasts talking about it. The first thing they want to say is this: oh, well, it's easy to be a conspiracy theorist when you're trying to sit here and explain something that's going to benefit your narrative. You want to jump on this conspiracy wagon. Well, it's not a conspiracy because I'm not so stupid to sit here and just go along. People are telling me because I do my own research and I look outside of telling me to find out the answers. And as I said, I think that it's just this point that the government is trying to get people so dumbed down. They are trying to get people so used to just being caught up and just what they're being told. Do what we tell you to do without putting up a fight. Because if you're getting people to this point where it's like, okay, we have this technology where they're being able to be controlled through these phones, through these electronic devices, they're not going to resist you. They're not going to put up a fight. They're not. Yeah, and it was because of their knowledge and their ideas of being outside of that realm of the norm. Hey, this shit is not what we're thinking. This is the evidence that I have. You're fucking wrong. We need to burn these motherfuckers. And then for a lot out on this podcast, a lot of the things that a lot of other people on their podcasts, we would have been fucking drug out in the street, stoned, tarred and feathered. We would have been fucking quartered. We would have been put in front of a mass crowd and everybody would have been fucking spitting on us. And they would have fucking burned us at the stake in front of everybody. But is it not the same thing now? You see a lot of people's credibility just being tossed down the drain because the effect of doing it at an electronic level where they're able to, destroy somebody's reputation through their business. You see a lot of these Hollywood people who are standing up against these elitist groups, these Illuminati groups, and out. Like I said before, if you don't believe in this kind of stuff, just the shit is out there. You call it for whatever you want. Illuminati, these red shoe groups, all these different type of cults that are around in the world that are altering the perception of people in society today. It's easier for them to do it now. And this is fucking crazy because I was not going to talk about this, but you see how it leads into something else, is that it's easy for these people to control the masses today because they're dumbed down. People are like fucking zombies now. They're so stuck in their goddamn phones and they're just like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to worry about it. And it's like they're just sheep going to the slaughter. We're like freaking cattle I mean, you've got people making freaking choices that are affecting not only us, environment, our lifestyle, our way of living, but they are affecting the global masses on a global scale and doing it in the name of freedom. They're doing it in the name of liberty, of human rights. And it's so easy to point out. You see these people. I mean, I don't know what people want to sit here and say about, global warming or whatever, but this is something that's crazy. They're telling everybody all this shit, but people don't do their fucking due diligence. The world's gone through fucking cycles here for billions of years, and it's gone through fucking polar shifts. So it seems like, yes, the fucking poles are going to melt. The goddamn icebergs are going to melt. The water is going to rise. It is going to start getting colder in different places. It is going to start fucking seeming like it's going to be the end of the world. And what are they doing? They're playing this on people. They're shifting this reality because people are just going along with what they're saying. But yet you've got them fucking buying up beachfront property and buying up, causing these mass hysterical fucking uh, 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 life altering things like the Maui fires or these fucking fires across California, Canada. But in major, like, they're fucking telling everybody all this shit, but yet they want to buy up the property. If the waters are rising, why the fuck would you want to put businesses and housing and development on an island? People don't think about that. People don't want to think about that stuff. But they're sitting here swallowing all this stuff. And that's what I mean. It's so easy for people to sit here and believe exactly what they're throwing at you because they want to sit here because of the fear mongering. And we see a lot of it. That in and of itself is the changing of a reality. Is that people are being able to see, right, bro? Is people are wanting to take what they can play fear based off of people. I mean, you see it all the time, and I tell people this all the listen. If it was easy, if I was to tell you that somebody was going to be able to, or could be able to, get a mass of people to destroy each other, not doing it himself or their self, and get people to turn on their neighbors, their family members, their best friends, excuse me, and that millions of people would die because somebody told them something about somebody else, or somebody else was not going along with the narrative and they had to turn them in. And if they didn't do what they were going to do, that they needed to do in the name of their freedoms and their rights, they would be executed. They would be put in prison. They would be tortured and killed. A lot of people say, "Oh, I would never do something like that. I would never let anything happen. I would never let anybody tell me what was going to happen about." The shit happened. Yeah, it not only happened in 2020, we watched it happen when the COVID pandemic came through. They told everybody, if you don't get this jab, people are going to die on the massive million scale. It seems like more people died not only just because of the release of this threat, the release of this biologically weaponized freaking virus, but more people were dying because of the shot that they were putting into, and they got people to freaking turn against each other, turn their family members in. They were freaking blasting people, shut businesses down. They manipulated the system to get you to do exactly what they wanted you to do, and they freaking sat back and just charted it up. But not only that, We're repeating history. Did not Hitler do the same thing? You had people that were freaking turning in their neighbors, turning in their family members, telling on people. The Gestapo was going around and they were so scared that they would point their fingers right at people or turn them in the sake of their freaking false freedom. We live in a reality now where we are seeing that everything is being dictated to us, and a lot of people are not doing their due diligence and researching their stuff. And I'm talking about historic events, historical narratives, things that have happened before that they are telling us no, they didn't. Or yes, they did, but it didn't happen like that. It's so easy now that we are seeing that the populace that we see now is so easily manipulated. So are we seeing the fall of the population of people with this narrative of them telling you it's the cows that are killing the planet, so we need to kill and we need to stop butchering animals, or we need to get rid of them and have you eat fake synthetic meat, fake synthetic foods. I like this video that I saw of this person that brought up a question and said, think about this. We have people who are starving and are dying. We cannot produce enough meat to sustain everybody on the globe. Where the fuck are they getting the meat from? And I sat there and I thought about it. I was like, wow, mind fucking blown. And it brought me back to this movie that was called Soylent Green. If you've never seen the movie and you never watched it, a lot of younger generation of people, if you're watching this, ask your dad, ask your uncle, out there, watch the movie, rent it. It's on freaking Prime. Watch the movie. The movie is set in a period of 2024 and it talks about exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what the World Health Organization is predicting. Telling people that they don't have enough food, telling people that there isn't enough meat. Why are we eating all this meat? Yada, yada, yada. People need to eat bugs, yada, yada, yada. Telling the population what they should be doing while they're sitting back. You eating bugs? Filet mignon, ribs, and all. Hell yeah, they are. While they dictate to us and spin a narrative of it's bad for you, it's going to kill you, the health is yada, all this stuff. If you see something on TV and the next thing they do is you don't or tell you what you should be doing because of something, I would think very deep and hard and do your research before you sit there and start freaking doing what they're telling you to do. Because we know now through a lot of this information, because these people are coming out and telling you this. They don't care. You got videos of Bill Gates coming out from his mouth talking about the population is so freaking we can't sustain everybody, and we've got to bring the goal plan is to drop this population down. You've got the World Health Organization leader, whatever his Nazi name is, because now you see that his father had ties to the Nazi regime, just like so many of these. You've got freaking this Canadian freaking ambassador, whatever his name is, Trudeau. His dad's freaking Fidel Castro. Are we not seeing a tie in here? Like everybody thinks these people are gone. They're not gone. They're just in hiding. They're working their way through these political issues by, you know, doing and having things done through the people that are in power. We see a lot of people that are manipulating and guiding the and I'm not saying just in the United States, but in the United States, it's gotten so that we're watching the decline of our youngsters, and we're watching the decline of our future generations just going down the drain because of everything that the system has been manipulating and twisting. So where are we heading if we don't save our youth? Where are we heading if we don't change things now? We got to get back on track. We got to realize that, hey, if we allow our destiny to be taken into control by the hands of these people who want to kill us, they are wanting to drive down the population of the world to better fit their needs. It's not a betterment and fitting of what is best for everybody here. We see that day in and day out. If they wanted to change something and they want to be better, not see homeless people sitting on the street. We would not see them allowing them to use drugs or handing out drugs to these people. We would not sit here and have the idea being brought up of having these machines that would be able to allow people to commit genocide, that would allow people to be killed in less than 5 minutes, a suicide machine. We've come, instead of trying to preserve life, instead of trying to preserve our humanity and our way of existence by saying that we can do it together, we've got people sitting here saying, well, we got to freaking just get rid of this population. You know, we've got to drive down the population because it's becoming a real big issue. And the only way to do that is to do it through vaccinations, and to do it through selective choice. We've got to drive the hand of selective choice and do what we have to do as world leaders. Come on, man. Yeah, that's true. And like I said, and I've stated this before, is it seems like every 10 years or so, we have something that is going to end up driving, either it's going to bring us together or it's going to bring us apart. And it seems like the only way that that's going to happen is if something tragic happens. We saw that people were so, I mean, America was different before 9/11. America was at different times. We were a different people across the world. But in the United States, we were a different people. That generation, that time has gone and passed, and we are not like that anymore. The effects that 9/11 has had on our population, on our governance, on our political status, and on our world stance has shifted so much. But it took that. It took that catastrophe. It took that mass murder of thousands of people to bring us together as a nation, to bring us together as a country in the false name of freedom. That's another rabbit hole that I'm not going to get into in this episode. That's going to be for another time because, as I've stated before, whether or not you agree with me or not, the evidence is damning, and it's coming out that 9/11 was an inside orchestrated job, that the government set that shit up to get us where we are now. They could not have gotten us to this new world order situation that we're seeing now if they didn't make that choice in that time. Would it have happened later on? Yes, it would have. But they decided it happened then, and it was already orchestrated. They had already had it planned out for a while. And now you see we are where we are now because of that. Is something like that going to happen again? Probably. And yes, history does repeat itself. When we see this catastrophic shift, look at what happened today. Donald Trump almost got shot again. That's twice in 1 year. This man has already been assassinated or attempted to be shot at. Well, he was shot the first time, but a second time? Come on. These people are trying to get rid of this man. Why so much freaking threat from a person who is trying to change everything? I don't care what anybody's political views are. I really don't. But if somebody's going to try and do something that's going to put a stop to this world global elitist group, and they're saying that they're in the way of their plans, I'm pretty sure that they're going to try and stop him from doing that. Because if somebody's going to get in your way, the only way to get rid of them and to continue on doing what you're doing is to eliminate them. And we're seeing it right in front of our eyes. And the damning thing about it is this: everybody loved this man before he ran for president. Everybody, even the people that hated him, that hate him now, they are the ones who were sitting there with pictures with him. They were asking him for fucking grants. They were sitting there asking for freaking business loans. This man was helping people. He was doing things for the communities and in New York and for the businesses around the world, or in the United States for that matter. Exactly. John F. Kennedy. The poor man was trying to keep us out of freaking Vietnam. They were pushing him, pushing him, pushing him, pushing him. Listen, we got to fucking do this, because if we don't get into this now, the military industrial complex isn't going to run, which is why I posted in my last video I did on my Facebook, was the damning evidence for that freaking inside hit that the CIA did on him, was because he was a threat to their freaking movement, what they were trying to do. Get rid of this man, or we're not going to be able to fucking go through with this plan, because if we don't do it now, it's not going to happen. And what are we seeing now? These people are sitting here orchestrating and lying to everybody, changing the narratives and the history right in front of our eyes. They're building up this thing to make it look like there's a threat in Russia. They're making it look like it was all Putin's fault, and making it look like the Nordstrom thing was him, that he planned this whole thing, yada, 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 that Donald Trump was an ally of the Russians. We know that the Russian collusion thing was a lie. All this stuff that everybody has been saying that has been a bunch of BS has come back to bite him in the ass, and we know that it was just them orchestrating it and manipulating the system. Because the end game is this, folks. We are on the verge of seeing them manipulate the system, altering our reality. They're controlling these narratives. They are controlling what is going to take place from here on out. If we don't make a change, and we don't come together and unite and say, hey, we need to fucking realize that we are in control of our shit. We're allowing these people to sit here and tell us what we are going to do and what's going to happen, because nobody's doing anything. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's actually voting and standing up and saying, okay, well, let's make a change. Because we're allowing these global elitists to run rampant. We're allowing them to sit here and dictate to us. They are being dictators. They are not being leaders. They are not being freaking public servants. They are being tyrannical dictators who are affecting and changing our reality and our narrative of our history. We are on the verge of World War III. Whether you like to see it that way or not, we are the closest we have been since the Cold War. A lot of people don't realize that and don't see it that way, but that's where it's heading. Now, in order for them to orchestrate this, exactly, in order for them to orchestrate this and get what they want, it's probably going to take something like us getting into a war for it to happen. Let's be real about it. They've already tried to lie about the man's freaking discredit him. They've already sat there and tried to freaking kill his businesses. They've already sat there and tried to publicly humiliate the man and try and sit here and lie and defame his moral character. Couldn't do that. Okay. And then they try to sit here and, tell BS lies about his whole character from history past, about things that supposedly happened, but that we know that that's a lie. Then we have a freaking setup snipering incident that happened that should have ended everything. I mean, thank God that it didn't happen. We didn't see another freaking assassination. But the attempt in and of itself should never have happened. And then we have the putting in place of a presidential nominee who was not even voted in legally to become the next freaking Democratic incumbent. They just put her up there and just said, "Hey, here it goes." Just totally broke the Constitution. Said, "Fuck it, we're gonna do what we want." And then we had today where the man almost gets, he got somebody else that tried to freaking shoot, take him out. The man is a threat to the very existence of their planning. They do not want him in there because he is in the way. Anybody who is in line with his thoughts and in line with trying to stop what is happening now is a threat to the very fabric of what these people are trying to do. We need to stop this crap from happening. We have to do everything we can, because if we do not do something about it now, we are going to be heading towards a time where we're not going to come back from it. We're not going to come back from this. I pray to God that it doesn't happen that way. But if you think our reality is screwed up now, God help us if it gets to that point where we do not see this man become president and change shit. Let's be real. We have not been in control of this country for years. And we see them changing and doing things. If it was you or I that was able to freaking do half of the things these politicians or these people that are in power were doing, we would not see the light of day. So why is it that we are allowing them to change and alter things their benefit, but not us? Isn't that called dictatorship? We are literally seeing the writing of history and the public narrative by those who are in power. Pretty crazy times. But as I said, that's stuff for a whole nother show. I guess we're getting off of the subject. Exactly. There's a lot of things that, the perception of reality, the perception of time, the perception of um, what is going on with everything that we see, everything that we know, everything that is happening. But what the reality of what is happening is this: have had our reality taken out of our own hands and being told this is what is going to be the reality. And a lot of people are just with the blinders on, just eating up everything and doing everything that they've been telling us um, to do for a while now. And it's going to continue to be that way unless we do something or change something about it and get our country and get our globe and get our world out of this mess. And if we don't do anything soon, it's not just going to be us that suffers for it. It's going to be the future, our children and our grandchildren. that are really going to be suffering for this. And it's really sad to say that, but I think that that's, I mean, that so not only is it good to historically rely on past narratives to get us out of situations that we are seeing taking place now, if we don't freaking revisit our history, we're bound to repeat it. But yet we sit here and hear them telling us, why worry about your history? Let's just get rid of it. Take it out of the schools. Take it out of the narratives, of society. Worry about it. Let's destroy monuments. Yeah, let's do that. Let's deface freaking historical uh, uh, figureheads and historical places of interest, so that way they don't think about it or don't remember it anymore. They don't look up to these people or say, hey, these people are bad. It doesn't remind them. Why? Because they don't want you looking at some of these things that are bad and going, the same fucking shit. You're doing the same crap that they did. No, I'm not. If we don't make a change, folks, it's bound to get worse. I pray that it doesn't get to that point. But I don't know. Hopefully everything will change and we can get back on track. But as we see things going further and getting into where we are now, a lot of altering of our reality. We're finding out that we are actually living in a simulation. Is this simulation a part of what these people are doing? Is this reality that we live in a part of what these people have had planned or are planning for a long time? Who is in charge and who is the ones that are taking control of this? There's a lot of narratives and a lot of scenarios that we can run through, from draconian races, from reptilian races, from ancient civilizations, from people who have uh, 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 been here on the planet for a while that are just, have tried to have their hands in everything that has been going on and shaping and leading humanity in the direction that they want them to go by better serving them. And now we're seeing it become a reality because they are serving the interests of whoever is in control. Are these those things that are happening? I don't know. We can look into it and have a discussion about that another time. But I appreciate everybody coming along. If you've watched this or you just started watching it and you just decided you weren't going to, thanks. Appreciate you. But to everybody who ends up following and who ends up liking and subscribing to the channel, appreciate you. I know a lot of the time, yeah, it connects, man. I mean, like I said, the spiritual aspect of everything that is going on is that we're at this vibration level that we're not seeing or being able to. A lot of people are doing it. A lot of people are just not connected. They are not tuned in to what they need to in order to see the bullshit for what it is, in order to elevate themselves and say, I understand, I realize I'm doing what I have to end up being better or to better myself and people around me. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody for being here. I thank you all for subscribing and liking the channel and the podcast on YouTube. Thank you so much. And for everybody who's followed me and who's been following me since the beginning of this journey last December, thank you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support. Um, I'm trying to come up with new content, new ideas to get into, throwing some other stuff out there. Um, ancient technologies, alien races, or giants, or the Nephilim, or just anything that we can get our hands on, like crazy, wild stuff. But if you have ideas, give me a shout out. If you want to come on the show and have a discussion about something, let me know. I'll bring you guys on, as I've said before. And as I've always said in any time I've done any of these shows, my ideas are not your ideas. And if you have something that you want to bring to the table, I'm all ears. I'm not telling anybody what to think. I'm not telling anybody what they need to know. I'm not telling them that this is fact and that this is truthworthy and anything that you tell me is wrong. That's not my position. I'm presenting things to people and giving it up to them and letting them do their own due diligence and researching on themselves for themselves. Look this stuff up for yourself. Look up anything. Question everything. Do not take what they tell you with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't take it for its face value. Because the one thing they want you to do is do exactly what they tell you without questioning them. Because the person that is not going to question is a person that is easily submissive and is subservient. They're going to do everything that they want them to do. The last thing that they want is people to be standing up and saying, no, this is bullshit, and no, this is wrong. Know your history. Do your research. Make sure you freaking question everything. And that's the point of this show. We question everything. Whether it sounds outlandish, whether it sounds crazy, research it. Look into it. Do some due diligence and figure it out. Don't just let them tell you that it's freaking not possible, that it's crazy, that it will never happen. Because it won't. Because you're the one that's going to allow them to tell you that it's wrong. So, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you. See you guys next time, and hopefully we'll have another episode coming out this week. We'll see what happens. But till then, thank you guys again for being here, and I appreciate you so much. And we're gonna get back here really soon. Yeah, good shit. See you later.